Hello, and welcome back to It's New. We got some exciting monopolistic news. That even makes sense. I don't know, but thanks for
Do
being
not
here.
pass go.
Do not pass go. Greg, thanks for being here. Mordy, it's okay that you're here. Thanks, I guess.
Sorry.
Anyway, I'm going to talk about the big Google Department of Justice ruling that Google is a monopoly. And because of that, Google started to shake up the search results a lot in response to that. Kind of, not really. But anyway, Mordy, what are you talking about?
I have a recommendation for you. Check out what Google Search Console might be recommending.
And Greg?
Is Google using business profiles to carousel your competitors?
The Department of Justice has announced Judge Mehta, not M-E-T-A, but M-E-H-T-A, like a meta tag, but spelled a little differently, that Google is a monopoly. They say Google is monopolistic, and it has acted as one to maintain its monopoly. It has violated Section 2 of the Sherman Act. Bad Google. I don't think anybody's so surprised by this ruling. I mean, it was pretty clear from all the things we read. But the judge ruling was out. You can read it in detail. I tried to find some new stuff in that document, which I kind of did on a Twitter storm last night, taking screenshots of the decision, but I think it's all pretty much out there already. That being said, we don't know what the remedy will be, meaning what type of action the Department of Justice will take on Google. Will they split Google up? Will they go ahead and force Google to, do things that they don't want to do? Or will it just be some type of fine or something? We're not exactly sure. I kind of find it hard to break up Google per se, but I do think, I don't know, I'm really bad at this legal stuff, but it makes more sense to require Google to make it much easier for them to switch to false search engines and so forth. The court basically findings is mostly around its monopoly around mobile, specifically mobile search, where it has the deal with Apple for iPhone and Android search, where it owns Android. And it's just really crazy. So this was a big deal. Everybody covered it. And I guess we'll just see what happens in the coming, I think it's going to take months to maybe a year for the remedy to come out, but we'll see. Any thoughts, guys?
Greg, you can go first. I feel like you have a lot of thoughts on this.
No, I mean, I didn't go through the full however many thousand pages that was. I started and got decently far. Some of the ways that they were defining things were very confusing, I thought, where there's general search services and general search text ads, but they're different than product text ads, and they were kind of trying to differentiate some of that. So, yeah, I mean, I was surprised that I could see the default being an issue, but the fact about some of the pricing and auctions and some of the specific verbiage that came out of that was pretty shocking, I thought. I didn't think it was going to be that harsh.
I don't know. I kind of feel like Google kind of expected this to become. You could almost feel it in the air. This was not going to be your typical case is going to go away. This is going to be a real thing. I wonder personally if Google's yeah, we kind of expect this is par for the course. This is all going to be on appeal. This is all just getting started. The way you look at the SEO industry covering, oh wow, this is the beginning of the end. I don't know if Google looks at it like that. I feel like it's like the NFL when they got sued for their monopoly over streaming. That went away in about 2 weeks under appeal. I feel for Google, this is just getting started, and it's big for us. I'm not sure how big it is for them.
I think the best part of this thing that happened yesterday was Google's response, which was completely what the hell.
So
let me read this. The decision recognizes that Google offers the best search engine, but concludes that we shouldn't be allowed to make it easily available. I mean, it goes on. It's basically the PR spin on this is beyond PR spin. It's like they're drunk and they don't even listen to the decision. They
don't seem like they really cared. They're yeah, whatever. They're this is ridiculous.
No, they care. I mean, this is big. Although their stock price wasn't down that much relative to what the whole stock market was down. It was, I think Google's stock, it's not done yet, but basically 4.5% it was down, but the market itself was 3.5% down. So it seemed like Wall Street wasn't too concerned about this. But again, the remedy is going to be months to years away, and I guess we'll see. But yeah, That decision was pretty detailed. I think people were complaining that it was too detailed because then it gives Google too much ammo to like fight back. But I don't know. I don't know how this legal stuff works, to be honest.
And speaking of that, I was looking up one. Just to go back for 1 second. I know we're a little quick today. One of the notes that came out from the antitrust, I was trying to get the exact verbiage, so I had it here, was the fact that, and sorry, I just want to go back to this here. Okay. There's no dispute that the cost per click for a text ad has grown over time. Google has used, quote, Google has used various, quote, pricing knobs, end quote, to drive these increases, often between 5% and 15% at a time, without a significant shift in advertiser spending to GSE competitors. And there were a few more like banger things that I didn't know was like you could get that was like a monopoly by just saying like I'm going to move the prices up. But they're like, yeah. And I did not think that they were going to be able to get them on that side of things. I thought they would for not being able to innovate with Microsoft and some of the 360 stuff. But that was another thing where I'm like, you just can't raise the prices without telling people and making it clear. Like, that's awesome. And if there's one takeaway from all the monopoly stuff, at least from the ad side, is to make things clear and not just have everything be smart this, where it's all the dumbest possible way you can do things, at least with smart campaigns. Smart bidding still works, but you're going to increase your CPCs. So yeah, I just want to focus in on that one point where it's like, yeah, there are knobs used 5 to 15% with no other impact on that.
Yeah, they actually detailed those knobs. I actually did a Twitter stream. Yeah, the price knobs include squashing, format pricing, and randomized generalized second price auction. I mean, the stuff in this document was pretty interesting. I don't know if that was new per se. I mean, I did some searches. I think people picked up on it. The Momuji and the Kabocha and all this stuff was very, very interesting. And obviously the number, the $20 billion paid to Apple for the search ad revenue deal. One thing also wasn't around the topic, the whole thing around Apple and their search index. And supposedly Apple maintains a search index of, they wouldn't say they blocked it out, X billions of websites, but presently does not plan to use it. So super interesting stuff in the document. Go ahead, Mordy.
I was going to say, like, that's so surprising to me that they focus so much on the availability of Google in the on phones and devices versus to me, like, the real issue here is all of the back channel agreements they have with all these advertisers and different platforms. Like, that to me is the main issue. Not that I go to my iPhone, the search engine default is Google. I'm not saying that's not a problem, but all the things that they're doing with all the agreements that they have that we don't even really know about, that to me seems to be the real problem.
Right, but they chose to go the path where is Google getting most of their search volume from, which they then monetize significantly with their price knobs. They just turn that up and say 80% of their search queries are non-commercial, 20% are commercial, which obviously defines what is being able to monetize. I think of those 20% of commercial keywords, not all of that stuff was being able to be monetized. And then they have documents saying where they get their flow of searches. And I think it was like only 30% from like Google.com and Google Search app, as opposed from their search partners. And obviously the biggest partner there was Apple by far. So it's like we are locking in our monopoly on how people search and how they find Google search results. And they're using their price knobs to go ahead and charge more to advertisers to monetize that. And obviously
somebody's got to pay for it.
Exactly.
It's the advertisers.
So I think that's the rationale behind it, but I'm no lawyer, and I don't know. Maybe one day I'll become a lawyer. But moving on, it looks like because of that, Google got really, really angry and decided to shake up the search results. They totally delisted Department of Justice. I'm just joking. They did not. That would be funny if they delisted the Department of Justice. But they didn't. The search results are ranking are huge volatility again. SEMrush is 9.4. We haven't seen that in a couple days. But it's high relative to the past month or so. Similar, which is pretty calm over the past several days, is actually high again. All the tools are pretty much spiking, which you see from this chart that I'll embed here. And the chatter is pretty significant as well. So don't mess with Google, or don't mess with your search results, Department of Justice.
That should have been the PR statement they put out. Like, all right, let's see how your rankings do tomorrow.
Nobody's going to be able to find this news no matter what you do. We're going to hide it. They did it with Trump, right?
Yeah, how come they take the DOJ out of autocomplete? No?
I don't know. I mean, they should. I mean, yeah. But they placed the pubic hair stuff in there, so. All right. All full circle. Mordy, what do you got for us?
So Google released a official like experiment inside of Search Console. Like someone spotted that Google came out and actually said, "Hey, we're experimenting with showing insights in Search Console." So, for example, it's like 93% of whatever pages are not eligible for a rich result, or this keyword is getting way more impressions than it used to. It's like really interesting, digestible and actionable insights inside of Search Console. I love this. I think it's just really helpful to anybody, but it also democratizes Search Console because you have a lot of people who are not SEO, like a professional SEOs looking at Search Console, and it could be it's hard for everybody to go through and try to find that one thing that you're really looking for. They already kind of did this with the whole insights thing that they have, that you can run through and see like versus last month and this month, like this, you're doing great over here. This kind of makes it right in the platform, and it kind of makes it more streamlined and more actionable. I would love if you want to talk about AI, I would love to have an AI assistant inside of Search Console. Like, hey, like which cluster of keywords or which like common keyword do I have the most increase in impressions for? That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting. They're rolling out very slowly. I only know 1 or 2 people that actually have access to it, and I asked on Twitter or X. I'm just waiting for the recommendations that says spend more with Google Ads. That's what I'm looking for. On that, Greg, you're up now.
Okay, yeah, and to that point, there's lots of like little things in there that have made ads substantially worse, and I feel like that's another move here that's making business profiles worse. So now if you do a search for a specific business, you can find a business, and the example that you had over on Search Engine Roundtable, Barry, was the Lung Lachai Indian restaurant, and there you can see the overview, menu, reviews, some photos, and underneath it is a see also with all of the competitors for that restaurant. And that is something where the person's not looking for the competitors. Maybe it could be interesting to them. But when you do any kind of search and you see the right-hand rail with all your business information and people also search for, you get somebody to your Google business profile here now for your restaurant. And now Google is serving up just see also competitors. These are just things that are not beneficial to small businesses. And Google just yells from the top of the roof, hey, we love small business. And you really don't. This is not a reason why you would ever be like, hey, go Google us. The people are going to look at this and be like, I don't want people to find us via Google. Let's set up a new app to order, download the app, and just forget Google altogether and things like that. It's not needed. If they were really helping small businesses, they wouldn't show your competitors underneath you and make it easy to get over there.
Devil's advocate though, like the competitor is also a small business.
I agree.
Yeah, but the issue here is like Google sent out these QR code stickers to all these businesses. You walk into their restaurant, they scan the QR code, leave us a review. Up comes the Google business profile. Oh, there's another restaurant that's similar to that. I'll go over there and stop using my favorite restaurant. Oh, maybe I'll find a new restaurant, which is fine. It helps the searcher per se. I get it from the search perspective. You want to find other businesses that are similar to that. But you're right. If you're going directly to that Google business profile, it's not going to help that small business.
No, I totally agree. Like I'm with that. Like there needs to be a balance in Google saying like, this is not really your ecosystem. This is ours versus like, this is your panel. And this is your little corner of the local web.
Right. And for a long time, they're trying to push people to like use Google business profile to not even have a website. And then this is what it's going to turn into. And you said, oh, you don't even need a website. You can do everything here on Google. And then now you get there and you're going to see competitors. I can understand if it's like find alternate items or can't get a reservation or look for others, but just to have them right there in front of you, like right under your menu is not something that people are going to be happy about.
Yeah, and they've been doing this forever. You just had to scroll down a little further to do it, to see it.
Right. This has been an issue across local ads, service ads for a while. People are actually worse when you're paying for the ad. Somebody goes to your business profile or your local listing, and then they see competitors. That has been an issue going on for many times, and this is not the first time Google's done this. So Google, keep showing us those ads, keep showing us getting traffic, and we love you, Google. Thanks for being Monopoly.
Spectacle.
Go directly to jail.
Anyway, yeah, the comments are pretty wild on Search Engine Roundtable, which is I have a new story anyway. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.